guys, I'm April Plank. Thanks for joining me for today's reformer class. Today I'm going to be using one of my favorite tools, the magic circle. And I'm also going to be using a yoga block, mainly as a pillow. So if you don't have a yoga block, no big deal. You can basically put the headrest up or put a small pillow on it to rest your head for some sideline work. Okay, I've got 3 red springs to start, foot bars up. I'm going to sit perpendicular on the reformer, and I've got a higher reformer so my feet are on a box. Take your ring, reach it right out in front of you, and let's get ready to move. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, start to tuck your tailbone, scoop and roll back. Just go to that little sticking point where the abs start to feel like they're engaging. Take an inhale and then exhale, scoop and roll, and stack your spine back up. And let's do that again. Exhale, scoop and roll, drawing the shoulders down, putting a little pressure on that ring just to help you with that shoulder stability and engagement. And then exhale as you roll up. So my breath is exhaling to move back, inhaling for a nice little hold, and exhaling to roll back up. Think one vertebrae at a time, drawing yourself down, moving from the pelvis. Inhale the scoop of the ribs into the hips, and then roll yourself up and sit really tall. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, scoop and roll back, and hold. This time take the ring all the way towards the right, and then back to the center. And then to the left, and back to the center. So we're just alternating this side to side movement with the ring. Trying to isolate my shoulder or my ribs from my hips. So I'm rotating through the rib cage, but I'm keeping my hips nice and grounded and still. Now if you notice, I'm holding the ring with a little bit of a round position, so my elbows are slightly bent, like I'm holding this big beach ball, and that'll help take the work out of the neck and keep it where I like it in the shoulder girdle. Last 2, and 1 more. Come back to the center, roll yourself up and sit tall. Now take that ring between your knees and then squeeze it so it's an oval. Hold those legs tight into the ring and then reach the arms out to a T. Take an inhale, sit nice and tall, and then twist to the right, 2 big exhales, and then sit back up to the ceiling. And then twist to the left, and then back up tall. So I'm really squeezing that ring, trying to keep my hips grounded, my legs engaged, and again I'm moving my rib cage independent of my hips. Just a little twist to the side and center, and a little twist to the side and center. Starting to warm up the spine and move it in all of the different directions that we're going to be working today. Do that one more time. And come back to the center. Now reach the arms in front of you, relax your shoulders, pull that ring in tight, scoop and roll yourself back halfway, hold. Give me little pulses with the ring, tiny pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, you got it. Last 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Roll it all the way back up. Take the ring back between the hands. Bring the legs back to parallel. Take a big inhale to prepare. And let's exhale, scoop and roll back. This time holding there, just back behind the tailbone. Take the right leg up to meet the ring and down. Left leg up to meet the ring and down. And I like to move on an exhale. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. So adding to this, when you have the right leg lifted, you're going to rotate the ring to the right. And when you lift the left leg, rotate the ring to the left. So just adding a little bit of that oblique work for the abdominals. Again, shoulders slide down the back. Slight little, tiny little bend at the elbow. Last 4, and 3, and 2. Do that one more time and then come to the center. You can either keep that alternating of the legs, or for more challenge, both legs are going to lift up and both legs are going to lower. If that feels like too much, too early in the class, feel free to stick with your modification. Really pulling with that low abdominal and release. I always love to warm up with abdominals. Kind of works from the center, helps you to really get that powerhouse engaged and ready for the whole class. Last 3 to go. Good job, you guys. 2 more. And this will be your last one. Good job. Set the feet down and sit up tall. Okay, let's keep the ring. Reminder, we're on 3 red springs, and we're going to lay down for our footwork. So find your way down. I do like my headrest down, but remember there are 3 options if you would rather have yours up or in the middle. So holding that ring again right at the chest, heels on the bar about 6 bones distance apart, feet flexed. Let your tailbone drop nice and heavy into the carriage. You're going to inhale, push the carriage out, and then squeeze it back in. So you're inhaling out and exhale, resisting in. Now I am putting a little bit of pressure into that ring, but I'm not really focusing on squeezing the ring from my arms, even though my hands are definitely what's squeezing the ring. I'm trying to think of my rib cage. So as I pull into the bumper, I draw my ribs in and together, and I mimic that with the squeezing of the ring. Exhale as you squeeze, inhale to release. And hopefully you can see my elbows have just a tiny little micro bend, just to make sure I'm not doing this motion and locking my elbows, which is going to put that work up into my neck. So soft elbows, soft shoulders, relaxed neck. Last 2 to go. This time I want you to hold it halfway and just give me those little pulses. Go 1 inch down, 1 inch up. Every pulse, think of that airplane seatbelt across your hip bones. So every time you exhale, that seatbelt gets tighter. You're drawing those low belly muscles in deeper. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go all the way out 1 more time, and then pull it back in. Now slide the balls of the feet, again, 6 bones distance apart. That means I can pretty much put a knuckle between my big toes. I'm going to take it all the way out and all the way back in. So I've just changed the focus a little on my feet. So now I'm working more ankle stability. I've got my heels lifted up in space. All 10 toes rooted down to the foot bar. And I can see with my, if I can kind of look down, I can see that my ankles, my knees, and my hips are nice and aligned. Do that 2 more times. And then the next time I'd like for you to stay out there, let's change the arms and the legs. So we're going to lower the heels, bend the ring towards your forehead, and give it a little pull so your triceps are engaging. And then lift your heels and lift the ring back up. So you bend the elbows, lower the heels, straighten the arms, and lift the heels. So it's a bend of the arms as the heels go down, straighten the arms as they come back up. Nice job. Last 2 to go. And 1 more here. Good. Take your heels, zip them together, come into a little V. So I've got my heels together, toes apart, I'm squeezing my glutes. Bend your elbows and take the ring right in front of your chest. Now your elbows are out wide. You've got your palms still pushing into the pads of the ring. You're going to exhale, squeeze the ring as you bend the knees. Inhale, release the ring slightly and straighten the legs. So you're exhaling as you come in, inhale as you release. Let this ring be a reminder that you're knitting the ribs, you're drawing that navel in deep, your corset is nice and strongly engaged. Quality of motion over quantity. Good, let's come in and rest. All right, take the heels back on, 6 bones distance apart. Lift your right leg to the ceiling and take that ring onto the ball of the foot. Now flex that foot towards you. I like to hold the ring with my palms facing me. I'm on my left heel, and let's start some single leg work. Push the left leg all the way out and resist it back in. Notice I did not change the weight. So this is quite a bit of weight to be pushing on a single leg. If this is too much weight for you, feel free to take a break, pause, and change the weight. You might feel more comfortable on 2 reds and a blue, or 2 reds and a yellow, or even just 2 reds. So I'm getting a really nice passive stretch through my right leg as I move through the left. We're not doing too many since I am on this quite a bit of heavy weight. So just 2 more to go here. And then let's hold the last one up. So you're holding out, taking an inhale. Keep your tailbone grounded, and then on an exhale, pull that leg in towards you and feel a deeper stretch through the back of the right leg. And the more you flex your foot, the deeper stretch you feel through the calf. The more you squeeze your quadricep and lift your kneecap, the bigger stretch you feel through the entire posterior or back side of the leg. Take another deep breath in. Every exhale, sink in a little bit deeper into that hamstring stretch. I'm going to engage that leg even more, so it's a very active stretch. And then I'm going to switch. So take that right heel down to the foot bar, lift the left leg up, and we'll get ready for our footwork before we do the stretch. So exhale as you bend the right knee in. Inhale, push it back out. So that left leg's super active. I'm squeezing my quadricep, lifting my kneecap, trying to lengthen through the entire back line of the body. Good. Again, work at a level that feels good for you. If you're having to struggle to push this 3 red springs, then feel free to drop it down. Last 3 and 2. Do one more time and then hold it all the way out there. Flex your left foot as much as you can. Lift your kneecap, squeeze your quadricep, and here we go. Nice big inhale to repair. Exhale, pull that leg even closer. So your body's going to respond better on an exhale. So when you're stretching specifically, every exhale is when you want to kind of move and get a little deeper. And every inhale is when you want to hold and just enjoy where you are. So I'm going to do that one more time. Big exhale and pull in. And then release. Set that foot down. Bring yourself home. And let's roll all the way up. Oh, sorry. We're going to do one more thing. I don't want to lose sight of our bridges. So you're going to hold the ring. We've got some bridges coming up. So sorry about that. Feet are going to be hips distance apart, sit bones distance apart. We're going to scoop and roll the spine all the way up, coming up into that bridge. Our glutes would not be happy if we missed this series. It's going to be lots of good glute work. So we're going to inhale, push the carriage out, and exhale, come back in. So I'd like to do this first just to equalize the weight on my hips, pushing equally through both feet. If you feel like this is too much work again, you can come down in your weight. And when we get to things that are more advanced, because we're going to be doing a lot of single leg work, then you can come back to this. This is a great way to work on glutes, strength, with both legs working versus unilateral. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Come all the way in and roll it down. Okay, so now you know where you can continue to stay. Let's go on to the next move and build on to there. So you're going to scoop and roll your spine all the way up. Hold yourself up. Take that right leg, lift it up to the ceiling. Without moving anything but the leg, you're going to kick that leg down to the foot bar and lift it back up. Down to the foot bar. I don't know, by the end of the series, you might have wished that I had forgotten it all. Hopefully not. It's going to be really good for the glutes. Keep pushing into that left leg. So that's the glute that should be on fire right now. Last one here. Nice job, you guys. Set that foot down. Lift the hips if they've lowered. And let's do the other side. Lift the left leg. Reach it up nice and tall to the ceiling. And then you're going to kick it down. Exhale, lift it up. And kick it down. And exhale, lift it up. Good job. Keep pushing down into that right heel now. Activating that right glute and hamstring. And this will be your last one. Good, set that foot down, roll your spine down, and give your back a little break. You can do a little bit of windshield wiper side to side. So that was really good. We've got 2 more sets to go. Again, if things get too intense, go back to those double leg variations that we did in the very beginning of this bridge series. Great place to start until you're ready to build. So let's bridge back up when you're ready. Exhale, scoop and roll yourself up. This time we're going to take that right leg, reach it up to the ceiling and keep it still. Your left leg's going to push the carriage out and bring the carriage in. So your left leg's doing the moving and your right leg's just holding right up to the ceiling. Three more to go here. And 2. Last one, you guys. Come on home and let's switch. Take your right foot down, lift the hips if they've lowered, take the left leg up to the ceiling, and then the right leg's going to be our pusher all the way out and in. I'm doing 8, but certainly if that's too much for you today, you can do a little bit less. You can always build up over time. Listen to your body. Do what feels appropriate for you today. Last 2 here. 1 more to go. Awesome job. Set that foot down. Roll your hips down. Get that nice massage to the back as you slowly let the tailbone come back to rest. And little windshield wipers with the legs. All right, 2 of 3 done. Last one to go. Take as much time as you need to here. And when you're ready, we'll come back to those feet. 6 bones distance apart. Scoop and roll your spine all the way up and hold. Take your right leg, reach it up to the ceiling, and then you're going to take that foot, make a footprint in the ceiling, take your hips, drop them straight down almost to touch the carriage. Lift up and lower down. Really keep pushing and driving through that left foot. 2 more. And last one. Good, set that foot down. Lift the hips back up to even. Here we go with the left side. Make that footprint to the ceiling. Lower the hips almost to hover. Nice job, you guys. Last 4. And 3. And 2. 1 more to go. Set the foot down. Roll your hips down. Last little set of baby windshield wipers. Side to side. All right, I knew you'd like those glute work exercises. Hopefully you did. And we are ready to come up now for real. So when you're ready, you can come all the way up. And I'm going to make a few changes. So first off, we are done with the ring. You can set that off to the side where you won't trip on it. We're going to change our weight to 1 blue spring. So that means I'm going to take off all 3 of my red springs and put a blue spring on. And I'm going to come to Mermaid position. So my right shin is up against the shoulder blocks, my left leg's forward in a senior picture pose, and I'm going to pick up the front strap with the right hand and interlace my fingers right above my sternum. Take a big inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, twist your rib cage to the left and then back. This is one of those exercises that becomes harder the more you do it. I think when you first start Pilates, you are thinking of working more from those superficial muscles, so you might be using your arms quite a bit in this exercise to twist. But when you start to move from those deep spinal rotator muscles, you don't let the arms do any work. And it's even harder to move like an inch. So that is one of the really cool things about Pilates, is once you kind of get it, you can make things even harder without changing anything. Last 3 and 2 and 1 more. Good. Now we will use a few more muscles in this one. So you're going to have the right palm down, thumb by your armpit, and now you're going to punch and come across your body. So notice I'm using my shoulder now. Still my abdominals working a little bit, but I've got shoulders. I'm even pushing my right hip forward, using a little bit of power through the glute and that leg to kind of push and rotate up. Good. bigger range of motion, a lot more movement here. Last 2 to go, you guys. And then this will be our last one. Good. And now your left arm is going to grab the strap, and we'll draw the sword up and punch and back and down. So I'm on a blue spring, feels really good for me. If you would like more work, you can feel free to grab the tape. So that's going to make it a lot more challenging. Another way to make it harder is to limit your range of motion. So maybe you just do the back side of this exercise. You do the second part where you're bending and stretching. So there's lots of ways to build on when you're starting to feel like you want a little bit more. Let's do 3 more. And you can always just add more weight as well. But I really like the blue spring for this one. And last one. Good. And set that strap all the way down. Let's take a little stretch. Left hand to the foot bar, a little in front of the shoulder, right arm out to the side. Take a big inhale, and then let yourself lean towards that foot bar, taking a big stretch into the mermaid. And then one of my new favorite stretches is thread the needle. So that right arm is going to come underneath. You can grab onto the carriage. Maybe you can grab the wood. Just give yourself an assisted twist. Feels really good for the back and the spine. Just a very gentle pull. And then your third stretch is you're going to take both hands to the foot bar, bring them about shoulders distance apart, and then just drop your chest into the springs. And then when you're ready to come out, you reverse the steps. So you'll bring your left hand back to the center. You'll turn your torso back towards the front, come all the way up like you're trying to reach your right hand to the ceiling, then reach it all the way to the headrest and take a little counter stretch. Really good job. Come all the way up. Let's take a quarter turn to the left. So you're going to face your foot bar. Bring your feet up against the shoulder blocks. Put a red spring on. So I've got a red and a blue. Take your hands a little bit wider than the shoulders distance apart, and then drop your chest right above the foot bar. So if you notice, I've got a table position with my back. My knees are in line with my hips. My spine's nice and long. My abs are engaged. Using my arms, I'm going to press the carriage back and pull it back in. So the only movement is coming from my elbow joint. Notice my hips are not moving yet. Do that 2 more times. And then hold your next one out. So now you aren't going to move from your arms, you're going to move from your hips, back and forward. Now your arms are straight, but your elbows have a tiny little bend in them, so you're not overworking in the neck and putting the work up in your traps, which are the upper back muscles. 2 more. And 1 more. Good. Come all the way home. Take your red off and let's repeat that on a blue spring with 1 arm. So let's start with the right arm working, left hand behind your back. So you'll start with just that movement from the elbow joint. Three more. Last one. Now the second part of this could be a little bit scary because you've got a little less weight. So if you want to take your left hand down to the carriage to help, and you're going to move from the hip joint back and forward. And it may not be as big, it's just a little back and forward. And if you don't need the hand, put it behind your back and press back and forward. Keep the shoulder down your back. Feel those abs having to kick in. 3 more. And 2. And 1. Good job. Come all the way in, switch. Left hand going to the bar, right hand behind the back. Nice long length through the spine, and then starting your bend and stretch at the elbow joint. Moving with the left arm. Three more. And if certainly it's too much to do 1 arm, so hold this one back I gave you the modification of taking the right hand down to the carriage. The right hand can also come to the foot bar, and you can just push back in it. So this less weight, even with both hands here supporting, is going to require my abdominals to stabilize quite a bit more than when I was on one red and one blue. So if this is enough, stay here. A little bit more would be the hand down or behind the back, which to me I find super challenging. Last 2 to go. And one more here. Nice work. Bring it all the way home. All right, we're on a blue spring. Let's take a quarter turn to the left for our second side mermaid. So your left shin now is up against the shoulder blocks. Right leg is forward in senior picture pose. Grab that left strap, or the front strap with the left hand. Interlace your fingers right at your sternum. You're going to let the strap pull you to the left. And then use your abdominals to pull to the right. So try to take your arms out of the equation. See if you can just do all the work just by that twist of the torso. Don't let your arms do anything. You want to keep your fingers right in line with your sternum the whole time. 2 more to go. And last one. Good. Take the left hand palm down, thumb by the armpit. Now you use a little bit more of your superficial muscles, your bigger muscles in the arm to press and the shoulder. So you're going to press the arm across the body and then back. You might even want to lift that left hip a little bit, using the power of that whole left side to punch across. Two more to go here. And last one. Good. Third and final exercise on this side. The right hand has the strap. You're going to draw the sword up and punch, and back and down. Remember your changes that you may have made on the last side. You can grab the tape if you want it harder. You can do just the second part of the exercise where you're doing a bend and press. So a lot more challenging because you're isolating just the tricep and the back of the shoulder, not letting momentum take over at all. 3 more. Do what you can, last 2. 1 more to go. Awesome job. Take that strap, put it away. Into the mermaid. The right hand's going to be a little in front of the shoulder, left arm out to the side with the palm up. Let's take a nice big lean over in towards the springs for our first of 3 stretches. And my new favorite, let's thread the needle. Take the left hand, maybe grab the reformer, or if you can see now from this angle, you might grab the wood and give yourself a little twist. Very gentle twist, don't overdo it. And then the third stretch, left hand comes to where the right arm is. The right arm moves over slightly, and you're just going to drop your chest into the springs. And then we'll come out by moving the right hand back to the center, turning the torso back to the side, and then rolling yourself up and taking a little counter stretch the other way. Nice job. Come all the way up. Now I'd like to take the foot bar down, so you can just take that out of the way. I'll move my block out of the way so I can put it down. And then you can put the block on your headrest. One more thing before we need the block though. Let's kneel now facing the tower or your shoulder blocks. So I've got my hands on the shoulder blocks, knees about 6 bones distance apart, and I like my feet hanging off the edge. And then pick up your right strap with your right hand, shoulders down your back, abs pulled in. Left elbow is slightly tucked in and a little bit bent to keep the shoulder in a good position. Take the right arm and press it straight back and forward. So 2 options for you to work today. This would be a little bit more grounded, you've got more base of support. If you'd like a little bit more balance challenge, more abdominals, take that left leg and reach it behind you. The less parts of our body touching a surface, the more we've got to use our small stability muscles to find our balance. 3 more to go. And then hold it back there and take it to your triceps. So you're going to keep the elbow lifted as you bend the arm and straighten the arm. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Nice job. Keep the leg lifted if it's up, and then set the strap down. Now if your leg isn't lifted, go ahead and lift it and put both hands on the shoulder block so you can hold this position for balance. We're going to lower and lift that left leg up an inch and down an inch. If you would like more challenge still, reach the right arm in line with your ear. Just a little movement up and down so you're not going so high that you're arching the back. Just a little squeeze of the glute. Last 2 to go. And 1 more. Good job. Set the knee down, take the right hand to the shoulder block. Let's pick up that left strap. Starting with that straight arm press back, so a little bit of a bend in the right elbow, drawing the shoulders back, and then taking the left arm straight back behind you, and then forward. I want you to feel really comfortable with this first before you add that balance challenge. If you are ready to add it, you're going to take your right leg, reach it back behind you, and maybe that's too much and you just hover it. You can also just hold it bent, and that way if you need it, you can just set it back down. And then the next time, hold it back into your tricep, bend and stretch. Keep energy through that right leg. My right leg's on fire, trying to hold it up. I'm activating every muscle in that leg, nice and strong. Do that 1 more time. Take the left strap and set it down. If your leg is lifted, keep it lifted. If it's not lifted yet, lift it now. Take the left hand onto the shoulder block. So you have option 1, you're holding the leg lifted and the left hand's supporting you. Option 2, the left arm comes in line with your ear. And then we're going to start those little leg lifts. Up an inch and down an inch. Squeeze the glute and release. Squeeze the glute and release. Last 2, and last 1. Good, take the leg down, take the arm down, and relax. All right, if you've got your block handy, you're going to lay on it. If you don't have it, you can put the headrest up or get a little pillow over your ear. So I'm gonna lay my right ear on the block, and then I'm gonna line myself up with kind of the back of the reformer. So I've got my shoulders on top of each other, my hips on top of each other. Take this strap in front of you and take it right onto that top foot. And then I'm going to push that foot all the way to the foot bar. Now, if you notice, when I push my leg long, I try to lift through this underside. So I don't want to just be sagging here with this left hip pushing towards my body and my belly just resting on the carriage. I want to push that leg long, so this top hip bone's in line with the bottom hip bone, and I want to try to create this little mouse house area underneath my rib cage. So once I have that position, we're going to start to move with a long lever kick forward and a squeeze back. Now, sometimes I like to keep my top hand right on my hip, just as a reminder to keep pushing that leg away from you, meaning keeping that leg long. I like the bottom hand just holding the peg. To me, that just feels comfortable. But if you've got another way that you'd like to do it, then certainly do what feels good for you. Let's do 2 more of these, this straight leg pendulum kick, and then we're going to take it into a bent leg. So the next time the leg's to the foot bar, pause, and then you're going to bend the knee into the chest and then push and press it away. Think of moving to that thick molasses so you're controlling the motion. Trying to keep your foot in line with your hip, so don't let it lift way high or let it lower down too low. Two more to go because we've got a lot going to happen in this leg here, so we don't do too many. Next time the leg is straight, turn the toes up to the ceiling. You're going to bend the knee into the ceiling and press it back. So now we're kicking in a little bit more of your outer thigh, doing this turned out variation. Good, and this will be your last one, pushing all the way straight. Once your leg is straight, turn the toes back to the front again, re-lengthen that side, and give me little circles about the size of a tennis ball, circling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then reversing 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knee in. Now take that strap, slide it up the same leg on top of the knee, and then stack your knees one on top of each other, feet one on top of each other. This is a very small motion called the clam for that top leg. So you're going to open the knee wide and close. My feet stay together the whole time, and it's, at least for me, not a huge motion. It's a very tight squeeze of this top glute and release, a squeeze and release. 2 more, and last one. Good job. Now, take your hands to the shoulder blocks. Bring yourself up to kneeling for the next exercise. So I've got my right knee as far over to the left as I can. My left leg has the strap. I'm going to lift it up off the carriage and then move it out to the side and back in. So I call this the fire hydrant. So you're just going open to the side and back in. Still working on that glute med, that outer thigh. Good. Elbows nice and relaxed. Shoulders down your back. 3 more to go, and then we're going to add a little bit of a circle to this exercise. So what I mean by that, the next time you go out, I want you to hold it, push back, come in, and back to where you started. So you're going out first, pushing back, coming in, and to where you started. So you're making a big circular motion through that hip joint. Three more to go. And 2. And 1. Let's reverse it. So you'll go back first, open, and then back to where you started. Back, open, around, and forward. Two more. And last one. All right, we made it. Okay, let's come all the way out of there. You can have a seat. Take the strap off of your leg. Before we move on, I think you need to stretch. So the leg you just worked, your left leg, I'd like for you to cross it over your right in a figure 4. I already feel that leg releasing. So for me, today this is actually enough stretch. If you feel that you need a little bigger stretch, feel free to hinge forward from the hips. What you don't want to do is round your back for the sake of going forward. You'll actually lose the stretch that way. So lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, and think of your sternum. That's what's pressing forward, and your back is staying really long. You can also push this left hand a little bit into the knee to give yourself a little extra weight. I'm just thinking about the whole other side we have to do, but we can do it. Do 1 more, come up, and let's switch. Even though our right leg wasn't the primary focus on this side, it definitely was a stabilizer, so we want to give that leg just a little bit of love as well, which is a good thing. That means we get to stretch both legs on the other side. So you're sitting up really tall, taking a big deep inhale, and then just bringing yourself forward over that leg. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders back. Moving to that point of discomfort in your stretch, kind of this dull ache, but nothing sharp or nothing painful. All right, let's move on. One more thing before we do the other side. We've got some abdominal exercises to do. So that strap we just had, this time we're going to take it on your right thigh. So right above your knee. And then you're going to slide as far over to the springs as you can and as far forward, because we're laying back perpendicular on this carriage. So when you lay back, your head is off the carriage. So you're going to put your hands behind your head to support your neck. You're going to open your knees like a little clam and then squeeze them together. So basically the same motion that we did laying down, but now because of the pull of the strap, we are working the inner thigh, so the opposite muscles from before. Opposite leg, that's okay, we'll get to the other leg on the other side. Good, think of isolating this movement to that right inner thigh, right pelvic floor, and deep into those abdominal muscles. See how little you can move the body as you just kind of isolate through that right side. Do one more, and then I want you to hold your knees wide, and you can either keep the hands behind the head or bring the hands up towards the feet, and we're going to pulse the upper body for 8, 7, 6. If your neck is giving you a hard time, take the hands back behind and support it. 3 more to go. And 2, and 1. Hold the upper body crunch, pull the knees back together. Last thing here, dip that left toe down and up, and then dip the right toe down and up. So my knee is not changing angles, it's staying bent, and I'm moving from my hip joint. So I'm just bringing the toe down to tap, and I'm not really tapping the floor, I just have that thought of reaching towards the floor. The farther the leg goes away from you, the harder. So if you're having a hard time stabilizing with this, don't move as big. Good. Now the next time the right leg is down, hold it. And if that's too much, keep it up or keep it a little bit higher. So you're going to take your right shoulder over to the left, extend that arm to the outside of the knee and give me little pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1. Good job. Come all the way in. I like to support my head with my left hand, and I'm going to pull the strap off with my right hand, put it away, and then use my arms behind my legs to help myself up. Okay, now we can do the other side. So I want you to lay down. I'm going to have to move my mic for this one, so I'm going to take it off for just a moment. So you're going to lay down on your left side, and you can see the back side now. So I've got my left ear on the block. I've got my body lined up with the back of the reformer. And then I'm going to take the strap in front of me and put it on my top foot. And then take your top foot and reach it nice and long over the foot bar. So I'm going to try to push this right hip down. So hopefully you can see here this evenness versus this. So you want to work in this position. You want to push that leg long and make sure everything's aligned. And then we'll start with that pendulum kick, kicking it forward and back. And kicking it forward and back. Think of that right leg growing as long as you can. We've got 2 more here. The next time the leg is to the foot bar, hold it. If you've dropped in your waistline, re-engage, and then bend the knee in, push and press it away. Bend it in, and push and press. We'll do that 2 more times with the bend and stretch. And then the next time the leg is straight, you're going to hold it for a moment, turn the toes slightly to the ceiling, and now do your external rotation as you bend and stretch. So the knee's going to come up more towards the ceiling when you bend, and then push and press it back out. Good job. Last 2 to go. Almost done with this side. Hold it out the next time. Turn those toes back to the front. Find that tennis ball circle and go 8 times. And 3, and 2, and then reverse it 8 times. Four, and 3, you got it, 2, and 1. Awesome, my leg is on fire. Pull it in, take the strap, slide it up above your knee, and then stack your knees and feet one on top of the other. We're going to work on that rotator muscle through the hip. You're going to rotate the knee open and close. So not a huge motion, just lifting it up and down, lifting it up and down. Trying to keep your feet together. I feel like I should be able to move farther, but this is it. This is enough. 3 more to go. And 2. And 1. Good job. All right, let's move up to our kneeling position. So you're going to have your hands on the shoulder blocks. Your left knee is close to the right side of the reformer. The right leg is hovering, and you're going to open the leg out like a fire hydrant and close it. So it's just an open and close, still working on those outer thigh muscles to that right side. Almost done with this side, you guys. Really good job. Just stick with it. 2 more to go. Okay, last time let's add a circle. So you go up, push back, down, and forward. Up, back, down, and forward. Three. And 2. Last one, guys. Let's switch the direction. So I want you to push back, come out, forward and down, back, out, forward and down. Really good. 3 more. Almost there. My left leg is actually the one burning on this side. 1 more and release. Good job. All right, stand onto the side of the reformer, have a seat. Let's take that strap off, and we're going to stretch again. So your right foot is going to cross over your left. So you can see hopefully from the behind that my spine's nice and long. I'm sitting up really tall, and then when I hinge forward, it's just a hinge from the hips, not a round. So hinging forward from those hips. And I'll just take this opportunity to put my mic back on as you're stretching. And let's switch to the other side. So we'll bring the left leg over the right. Now the thing I did not mention on the other side is your ankle. If you're letting your ankles kind of sickle, you'll be kind of losing a little bit of the stretch. So you want to push through that heel, keep that leg really active, keep your ankles strong, and then you're going to feel a deeper release through your hip. So try not to let your ankles sink or sickle. And then again, you're just hinging forward as far as comfortable. We are almost done with this class. Let's get ready for our abdominals on this side. So pick up that strap with the left hand. You're going to thread it through your left leg right above your knee. Scoot as far over to the springs as you can, really far forward. And then when you lay down, you want the back of the wood to point kind of to the shoulder blades. Hands behind the head. Lift up and choke punch and hold. And your knees are going to clam closed and open. Notice I'm trying to really isolate through the inner thigh on the left side. Three more to go. One more. And then take the knees wide and hold. Give me that upper body crunch. Hands can stay behind the head. Or for more challenge, you might want to reach the arms up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands back behind the head. Last thing to go. Pull the knees back together. Dip the right knee down and up. And then dip the left leg down and up. So again, you're hinging from the hip joint. Nothing's changing with the angle of the knee. And I really feel that strap trying to pull me off to the side. I'm using my abdominals to prevent that. 4, and 3. Good. Next time the left leg is down, hold it. take your left shoulder and cross it over to the right. Reach that left arm nice and long on the outside of the knee. Give me those pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull the knees in. I like to take the strap off with the left hand. My right hand still supporting my back. Put the strap away, and then use the arm behind my legs to roll myself up and off. Good job. Okay, let's put that foot bar back up. I think we've earned a stretch to finish. So let's come onto our knees facing the foot bar. And I'm going to just keep it on that blue spring and go into a little stretch. So we're going to push the carriage out enough that I can see the floor. And I'm going to put my right leg on the outside of that spring. Keep my left knee onto the reformer and then just push back into a little stretch. So if I can squeeze my left glute and think of pushing my left knee into the carriage bed, I'm going to feel a little bit deeper release through the abdominals we just worked and those hip flexors we just worked. Just take a few breaths. And then come up. Now the right leg is going to come up, and I'm going to put it on the gray surface with my shin against the foot bar, and I'm going to push out for maybe a little bit deeper stretch. It may feel a little bit deeper. What I don't want to do is sag. I want to keep my abdominals active and hold an intense stretch without overdoing it. And now I'm going to take my right leg away from the foot bar and push into more of a split. Now again, I'm on a blue spring. You may feel more comfortable on a red, giving you a little bit more support. The carriage does feel like it's pushing away a little bit, which you've got to have enough strength to hold that. If it feels like it's too much to hold and it doesn't feel good, put on a red spring. That'll give you a little bit more support to hold you here. And then bend the right leg, come home, and let's switch. So put the right foot back. Let's put the left foot on the floor, and then drop into that first stretch. And you'll notice that the higher you keep the chest and almost do a little bit of a tiny back bend, this bigger stretch you're going to feel through the front. If I lean forward, I can lose a little bit of the stretch. So I'm going to lean back a little, squeeze my right glute, push my right knee firmly into the carriage, and just feel how that helps me to open up my hip flexor on the right side. But if you don't lock your arms, hopefully I wasn't doing that, soft elbows. And then come up. Put your left foot onto the gray surface, put your shin up against the foot bar, and let's go back into our second variation. So you're dropping the hips forward for the first part. And then you'll straighten your left leg and reach the carriage out. Bring the carriage all the way in, step that left foot back, press into a nice little child's pose, pushing the hips back towards the heels, dropping the chest, giving your chest a little stretch. Take a final deep inhale and exhale. And then you can just start to bring the carriage home, bring yourself all the way up. And you are done. Awesome job today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope to see you again